One pistol is far more accurate than two. You would think that two guns would be better than just one. But sometimes, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. Just ask anyone who's ever smoked crack. Those dopamine receptors can really take you down a dark road. Before you know it, you wake up in a communal shower somewhere, naked, covered in another man's tears. Or so I'm told. Point is, dual wielding in Red Dead has the distinct advantage of doing more damage per second. However, the spread of that damage is the cost. So if you want to be more precise and land those crucial killer blows, it's in your best interest to do your murdering single-handed. You can shoot and blow up fish. Now this was a game changer for me, mainly because I suck at fishing, but also because a fish killed my father, and I needed revenge. Yeah, he snagged my father with a hamburger attached to a hook. Finished him off with a bazooka. How did he get the bazooka? I have no idea. He was the only trout I have ever seen with a bazooka. What I'm driving at here is if you don't want to spend all your time reeling in fish with a line and some bait, you can just see them skedaddling across the surface and shoot them right in the face. And if you got bad eyes, then don't sweat it. Just light some dynamite and let her rip. You'll see a bunch of dead marine life just bob to the surface in a jiffy. It's really just that easy. And it's super environmentally friendly too. That's what I really love about it. Stabbing can be a great way to preserve pelts. It's also a terrifying way to cut up a turkey over Thanksgiving dinner. Or so I have been told. It's why I don't get invited back. Now, hunting can be tough in Red Dead. If you use the wrong gun or miss that crucial kill shot, then there's a chance you'll ruin that perfect 3-star pelt. And that pelt might be the only thing keeping your wife from leaving you, especially in the 1800s. So if you don't want to be all lonely in your little one-bedroom grass hut on the prairie, then maybe try stabbing animals. It's a lot of fun and it's sure to tell you some disturbing things about yourself. Note that this won't work on really small critters because they'll just squeeze right on out of that lasso like they're covered in KY jelly. And it also won't work on really big animals because let's face it, they're stronger than your average human hunter, both physically and emotionally. But on those mid-sized creatures, well, they'll be fucked. Aim longer for better accuracy. Being accurate is important. You see that little circle on your screen actually serves a purpose in Red Dead Redemption. You'll notice that the longer you aim at something, the smaller that circle gets. Well, that's an indicator on how accurate your weapon is. It's also an indicator of the time it takes for a weapon to reach its maximum efficiency. So if you want to be more accurate in Red Dead, take an extra second when you aim in before you shoot. Yes, you'll be completely and utterly exposed to your enemies, but that extra second might make the difference between a headshot and a miss. You can also try crouching when you shoot, as this will also make you more accurate in the game. Now, running's a game changer. I mean, it's the last line of defense we have when it comes to being chased by predators. Whether they're animal or sexual, it doesn't matter. You need to booger your cheeks right the fuck out of that situation, don't you? But most people don't know you can actually change the way you run in Red Dead Online. The default has you tapping a button over and over and over again like you're some kind of button-tapping Jim Dandy. Well, no more. If you change the setting to FPS standard, then you'll run just by clicking in the joystick, just like you would in most first-person shooters. Now, if you're playing on PC, then I'm not sure what the fuck this will do. Maybe it will help you see your younger self or find beauty in the way a caterpillar walks. Who fucking knows? I don't play on PC, so good luck with that one. Point is, this makes running around in Red Dead a whole lot easier and less labor-intensive in regards to your thumbs. Note that this will not change the way you ride a horse, though. You'll still have to slap the shit out of that go button like a peasant when you're on a horse. Don't fast travel while hunting. Now, normally I like magic, but not when it means my 3-star buck vanishes into thin air. That type of magic makes me want to scissor kick a wizard right in the penis. Fast traveling is a great way to get around in Red Dead, mainly because the world space is humongous. It's so big that I'm sure other games cry in the shower just thinking about how big it is. So it makes sense that most people would want to use fast travel points as much as possible. However, if you're planning on fast traveling in the game, make sure you don't have any animals on your horse that were freshly killed from a good hunt, or there's a chance you'll lose them. And let's face it, you don't want to go back to CRIPPS after a day of hunting empty-handed, because he'll beat the shit out of you. Not with his hands, of course, but with his eyes. You will end your world with his creepy little bug-eyed glare. Use a knife to escape lassos faster. I mean, getting caught up in a lasso can be terrifying. There's always the possibility that you're gonna get dragged around behind a horse until you die, or they might hog tie you and stick little baby dicks in your ears. Yeah, it's less likely, but it's immensely terrifying and definitely one of the first things I think about when someone snatches me up with a rope. So it's definitely a good idea to get out of a lasso as soon as possible. Escaping a lasso is a lot like taking candy from a baby. It's just easier to do it with a knife, you know? So if you have your knife out when someone lassos you in Red Dead, you can quickly escape by cutting the rope rather than squirming around like you're an epileptic person at a strobe light convention. This will allow you to slip out of lassos quickly and effectively. There are treasure maps located randomly around the map. Now, I love finding treasure maps. It reminds me of when I was a kid and I used to find money in the couch cushions. You guys remember that? It was like a magical land of lint and prosperity. As an adult, I can't find any money on my couch. All I see are dirty cheesies and reasons to stop looking in my couch cushions, which, to my everlasting shame, I eat. Yeah, things are not going well for me financially. Red Dead is filled with opportunities to make some extra coin. From stranger missions to chance encounters, there's a lot of ways to make an extra buck. However, if you're lucky, you can find treasure maps randomly located around the world space. Sometimes they'll be stabbed into trees, and other times it'll just be a chance encounter from an NPC that's looking to sell one for $5. Either way, an easy way to make some quick gold and cash in Red Dead Redemption. Nearly infinite stamina on your horse. Did you ever yell at someone or hit them until they got better at a task? You know, maybe bitch slap the foreign kid when he talks with a lisp and then suddenly he's speaking perfect English? Yeah, no, that doesn't happen in the real world, does it? You'd just be left there with a really bruised, difficult to understand foreign kid, right? But that's what's great about this. It's a video game. And as such, it has some tricks that don't always make sense. Like for instance, even though your horse loses stamina as you're riding, you have an option to constantly refill part or all of that stamina as you go. Pushing in the left joystick or clicking L3 as you ride will jolt a percentage of your stamina back into the horse. This tactic can be used over and over again every 10 to 15 seconds to give good horses an almost infinite supply of stamina. The good news is the horse isn't real, so it won't pass out or die from extreme exhaustion. So you can just beat the fuck out of that horse. Leading a horse is a great way to bond fast. Bonding with a horse can be tough and time-consuming, especially when you don't have very much in common. Like for instance, I don't eat hay, and as far as I know, most horses don't shave their chest and rub marinara sauce on their nipples. I mean, not that I do that. I'm just saying it's hard to find something we can share. Point is, bonding with a horse is really difficult in Red Dead. However, if you want to get the most out of the horses in the game, then you're going to want that bond to be perky as fuck. The problem is every time you buy a new horse, you're going to be stuck with a dud until it learns to trust you like the others. Well, a nice little trick for bonding is to lead the horse around. This bonds horses faster than anything else you can do with them. And trust me, I've explored every single option. I've even done some stuff with my mouth. Some stuff I'm not really too proud of. Leading the horse is still time-consuming, sure, but compared to other avenues, it's lightning fast. So if you want to bond your horse as fast as possible, then just lead it around. And before you know it, you'll bond so hard with that horse that it'll confuse and upset most normal people. Specialty items can be purchased from Madame Nazar, and you don't need to be a collector. Madame Nazar is like a drug dealer in the 1800s. She's got the really juicy stuff that'll make your toes curl and your nipples swell up. You know, the good stuff. Madame Nazar has certain items that you can only buy from her. She basically corners the market on esoteric shit. She's got like potions, maps, clothing items, and so much more. Now, some of which you'll need to be a collector to purchase, but some things you'll be able to buy from her even if you're not participating in the collector role. So it can be a good idea to go to Madame Nazar and see what she's got for sale, even if you're not a collector. You might be surprised to find yourself a useful recipe or a snappy article of clothing. Tow a deer behind you with a lasso to maximize profit. Now, before the invention of wagons, this technique was all the craze. Carcasses were just flopping around behind horses everywhere. It was a real sight to see. Now, you'd be surprised how effective it can be to drag dead things behind you. Just ask my neighbor the last time he asked me to borrow a hammer. Oh man, did he walk in on me at a really awkward time. You would think that dragging a deer carcass behind a horse as you gallop all over the countryside would beat the ever-loving fuck out of that hide. At the very least, it would take a 3-star hide and make it like a 2-star hide. But nope, turns out gravity has no effect on dead animals in Red Dead Redemption.
But Baters, what does this mean?
Well, I'm glad you asked there, little Billy. It means you'll be able to drag a deer carcass behind your horse to sell to a butcher or CRIPPS without losing any quality on the carcass or the hide. This can be really lucrative, especially if you don't own a wagon. Use DEADEYE in player versus player interactions. DEADEYE is like knee pads to roller skaters. Sure, they can leave the house without them, but what's gonna cushion their fall when they're flying over the windshield of my car? Goddamn roller skaters think they own the sidewalks. It turns out DEADEYE is pretty much a must-have in PvP situations. If you're in an altercation with another player in Red Dead and they're using DEADEYE and you aren't, there's a 99% chance you're gonna get bodied. Now if you choose the right ability cards, then this can give you the upper hand in almost any PvP situation. DEADEYE is basically ass-kicking juice. It'll make a plain old dick-sniffing shoemaker into a real fucking lunatic on the battlefield. Point is, use DEADEYE when you have it. You don't have to pay bounties. Now, being wanted by the law can be a real pain in your seat cushions, especially when your cousin keeps threatening to rat you out if you don't stop sticking your dick out the car window. Yeah, we've all been there, right? Now, being nefarious in Red Dead is contagious. 1 second you're robbing a stagecoach, and the next you're covered in blood in city square surrounded by a bunch of corpses. How did we get here, right? How did we get here? Well, the downside to all this nastiness is that you're gonna get a bounty on you over time. The more fucked up shit you do, the larger that bounty will get. Like for instance, if they catch you robbing a train, you might get a few dollars on your head. However, if they catch you balls deep in the neighbor's goat again, well, they'll probably just fucking hang you. The more crimes you commit, the more the bounty will rack up. Once it's over $20, bounty hunters will actually come to collect. The good news is if a player character takes the bounty contract and you survive it, then you won't have to pay. Furthermore, if you get caught and allow them to take you in alive, you'll just spend time in jail rather than having to spend your hard-earned dollars. Jail time is rather quick even for large bounties in Red Dead Redemption. So if you think you might not be able to evade your captors, it can be a really lucrative idea to just give up and serve some time in the pen. Best case, you save yourself some money. Worst case, you get raped in prison. Now, hunting's a fun activity, right? You track an unsuspecting creature out in the middle of nowhere and brain them when they least expect it. And you know the best part is they don't fight back. It's unlikely you're gonna go deer hunting and Bambi will set up booby traps or stab you with a Bowie knife like it's fucking Rambo, right? So the problem isn't how do I kill these defenseless animals? It's where do I store their dead carcasses when I'm done bodying these little bitches, right? Now, the hunting wagon is a wagon that you can purchase if you're a high enough level in the hunting role. This wagon might seem like an expensive purchase, but it's actually extremely useful. Yes, it can only hold 5 carcasses, but what makes it mint in the game is that it lets you save the carcasses you put into it. So if you see a dandy 3-star buck just flaunting its balls in the forest, you can body that fucker and store him in your wagon. Then you can just send the wagon back until you naturally come across another entitled Disney character, and then you can body that fucker too. Throw him in the wagon. You can keep storing those 3-star puppies until you're full, and then sell them off as a whole. It's really super convenient. Collecting items is a fast way to rank up. Now, I'm no doctor scientist, but I read that if you're a high enough level on Red Dead, women will want to rub your weenus. The collector role is one of the fastest ways to level up in Red Dead Redemption Online, as finding collectibles offers a lot of XP, and collectibles are pretty common across the world space, especially if you have yourself a metal detector. So if you need to level your character quickly, it's a really good idea to take on the collector role in the game. Grab your metal detector and some maps and just go fucking bonkers. Think of collectibles like they're Pokemon and get out there and collect them all. A great little byproduct of this endeavor is that you'll be able to sell off the collectibles when you're done, for a pretty hefty profit. And you know what they say about guys with money, don't ya? Yeah, they can afford to pay people to touch their buttholes. But I, being a poor man, have only my dreams. Tread lightly, because you tread on my dreams. My dreams are of having people touch my butthole for money. Cripps will shoot at people hostile in your camp. Cripps is not just another pretty face. He doesn't just sit in your camp all day like a smelly freeloading dirt squirrel, pondering ways to be more useless. No. Cripps will actually step up when push comes to shove. Let's say somebody follows you back to your camp, intent on giving you the sauce. Well, little do they know, you've got a secret fucking weapon just chilling behind some dead animal furs. If someone comes into your camp all rowdy and shit, then Cripps will step up and deck that no-good-for-nothing son of a bitch before he or she knows what hit him. Now, in order for Cripps to get involved, though, I'm pretty sure they have to shoot in his general vicinity. But after that, look out, because Cripps plays for keeps. Yeah, he'll come out guns blazing like he just punched his nephew in the dick. A higher horse bond makes you more accurate on a horse. This one actually makes perfect sense. Have you ever fired a gun repeatedly while riding on someone's back? I have, and let me tell you, it's a whole lot more difficult if they don't trust you. This one's pretty self-explanatory. The higher your bond with your horse, the more accurate your character will be while firing guns while mounted on the horse. Now, if your bond isn't that strong, then your horse is going to be all like, what the fuck? And just start freaking out and act all squirrely and shit, right? However, if your bond is really strong, then your horse is going to know to remain calm, cool, and collective in battle. Because it knows that if it doesn't, you're going to hit it with a hammer. That's really the strongest bond you can have with an animal. The whole do what I say or I'll fucking hit you in the face with a hammer bond. It's unbreakable, really. I'm surprised they haven't turned that shit into a Pixar movie yet. It's always good to fire a warning shot first, you know? Give your enemy a chance to at least pull their dick out of the llama's ass before you start blasting. Not everybody is that civil, though. I had to learn that shit the hard way. That's right, you can fire your weapon in the air. You just aim down the sights and then push up on the D-pad. The gun will then be pointed at the heavens, so when you pull the trigger, it can scare animals out of hiding, NPCs out of cover, or cause old people to shit in their pants. Point is, this is a very effective tactic when dealing with a hidden opposition or scaring the shit out of senior citizens. Either way, it's a really fun thing to do. Use explosive rounds against Deadeye buffs. Did you ever know somebody to overuse stuff? Me, myself, I knew this one guy who was just obsessed with whipped cream. You know, used to put it on everything. One day, he comes into my room, nothing but whipped cream on his nipples, and it was just at that point I finally had to say something. I said, Dad, I can't take you seriously anymore, okay? This has just gotten out of hand. I'm a grown-ass man. You don't even live here. What the fuck? You know? Stuff like that. Now, Deadeye is essential in player versus player altercations in Red Dead. So much so that rather than being a tool, more often than not, it's used ubiquitously in every fight ever. Now, if you find yourself up against somebody who overdoes it on the Deadeye, and they use a lot of health buff ability cards, then you can counter this with explosive ammunition. This is especially effective if you're being griefed by more than one Deadeye junkie. Use the explosive rounds to put them to bed, and then create distance between you and them. That way, they won't be able to get you back. It will give you the upper hand long enough to get away, and give Deadeye griefers a reason to cry themselves to sleep at night. Use a wild horse for extra storage. Now, wild horses are more valuable than people think. In fact, my first wife was a wild horse. Needless to say, it didn't work out. Turns out it's actually illegal to marry a fucking horse. Who'da thunk it? Right? Now, there are loads of wild horses in the game just prancing all over fields and shit. It turns out you're able to borrow these wild stallions without owning them. All you gotta do is catch it and tame it real quick. Then you'll be able to actually ride that horse while you hunt, and you can whistle for your owned horse to follow you, which will give you extra space to carry 2 carcasses while you hunt. This is a great little trick to make hunting a bit easier in the game. It's also a great way to assert your dominance over random horses, you know, galloping around without a worry in the world. Then you roll up and make them your bitch, right? Yeah. You can pick up other players' throwables even if you haven't unlocked them. Never throw something you're not willing to lose. That's an adage that I live by. It's why whenever I get in a scuffle, I always throw stuff I don't care about, like empty bottles, dirty underwear, or a human baby. You know, stuff you could live without. Throwables in Red Dead only have ownership up until they leave the confines of your knapsack. Meaning if you throw something at another player, they can scoop it up and run off. This can be great if you want to give throwables to a friend who can't afford them, or if you want to do someone dirty. You know, they're just off in the distance throwing stuff for target practice, and you just run up and snatch their throwable and run off, never to be seen again. It's pretty much the scuzziest thing you can do in the game, so just keep that in mind. Either way, what I'm saying is throwables can be picked up by other players in the game, so just be careful when you're using throwables around other players in the game. Time is essential in missions. The longer you play, the more you get paid. Rockstar has this pesky habit of making things pay more the longer they take, rather than the harder they are. So if you want to maximize your payouts in stranger missions, bounties, or other timed missions, then wait till the last 30 seconds to complete them. This way you'll juice their profit titties dry and get those fat payouts that make all the girls wet in their panties. Oh yeah. Defensive mode is not passive mode, so this is important to remember. Although passive mode does exist in Red Dead Redemption, it only exists after you already engage with someone in PvP for a long time. That means when people are running around in defensive mode, you can still kill them. That's right. You can kill one of these eager pacifists while they're bouncing around the world space, thinking they're safe from all types of physical abuse. Because what if you're someone like me, a sick, twisted fuck who wants to barrel stuff someone when they're balls deep picking dandelions and shit? Well, if passive mode was a go right out of the gate, you wouldn't be able to do that. But it's not. So in defensive mode, all you gotta do is get really close and just barrel stuff the motherfucker with a shotgun or something, and boom, they'll be dead as shit. The only thing that defensive mode does is stops people from locking onto you. But they can still shoot at you and cause you damage with explosives, shotguns, stuff like that. So if you're running around in defensive mode thinking you can't be killed, don't. You definitely can be killed, and you will be killed multiple times. Now, I don't know about you guys, but constantly pushing the go button over and over and over again can get a bit monotonous in the game, and it can also start to hurt my little bitch toddler-sized thumbs. Well, fear not, because there is like a cruise control setting in Red Dead Redemption, and that cruise control setting will do all the heavy lifting for you. All you have to do is mark a location or a waypoint on your map, and just aim your weapon while you're riding a wagon or carriage, and the horses will take you where you need to go without you exerting yourself like a fuckboy. You can change your appearance once for free. Does your character look like Squidward fucked a donkey in a back alley for half a Snickers bar? Well, worry not, because you're actually able to go into the options menu in Red Dead Redemption and change your appearance once for free. I know a lot of you rush through that character creation at the beginning because you just want to get into the game. Well, you can actually go back and sort yourself out for free if you don't like the way your character looks when you actually have them in the game. Now, you can do this once for free. After that, it's going to cost you, I think, like 10 gold. It's like heroin. You know, the first time's free, then after that, you'll suck a dick to get some more heroin. You know what I mean? Yeah, they know that they're going to get you hooked with this change appearance setting. So they're like, yeah, first time's free, but when you come back and you want to change up your chin or your cheeks, you're going to have to pay through the nose for it. Moving targets are a lot harder to hit. You don't believe me? Ever try to punch a bumblebee? Yeah, it's damn near impossible. So we all know that moving targets are harder to hit, but in Red Dead Redemption you have an aim lock, so you would assume that you'd be able to aim on people, and when they're running around, it's just gonna follow them everywhere they go. But if you want to break that aim lock, all you have to do is dive, and you'll be able to avoid people's aim lock, at least temporarily. This could give you an advantage in a gunfight, or it could break the aim lock just long enough so that you're able to get the upper hand. Either way, diving is a great option, especially in PvP in Red Dead Redemption 2 Online. Knives are one of those things that actually have a purpose in Red Dead Redemption. When you get too close to someone in Red Dead Redemption, it can actually be difficult to shoot them or kill them. You can do executions when you're up close, but more often than not, it actually plays to use a knife up close as opposed to a gun. This makes a lot of sense. Guns generally tend to be good from, like, close to medium range, but when you get really, really close quarters, knives generally tend to be more effective. So if you really want to fuck with people in Red Dead Redemption, then just run up and start ganking them up close, you know what I mean? Like they owe you half a pack of cigarettes in prison. Just give them the shiv. Yeah, it's a great way to not make friends. But it's also a great way to win close quarter combat in PvP in Red Dead Redemption Online. So in real life, when someone does something and it becomes really, really annoying over and over and over again, what do? We move away and change our name, right? Well, you can't really do that in a video game. Yeah, you can run, but sometimes they have a better character than you, a faster horse, whatever it is. They're just going to catch up and keep doing the same thing over and over again. Griefing was a real problem in Red Dead Redemption Online when it first came out, so they implemented a parlay system. What this does is if someone kills you 3 or more times in a row, you're able to parlay with them. This makes you passive to that particular group, giving you time to move away from that character or whatever it is. But you'll still be able to interact with other groups in the game even though you're in parlay. It only makes you passive to that specific group. Do note that the parlay only lasts 10 minutes. So if you stick around and keep flipping them the bird or shaking your ass at them or whatever, after 9 minutes and 59 seconds, you better start boogieing your cheeks in the other direction or you're just going to get grief some more. You can actually change how your character walks. So you can explore whatever walk style you think is the best one for your particular character, but in all honesty, it's really cool that you can change the way your character walks in the game. I mean, a walk says a lot about a person, doesn't it? Like, hey, this guy's got a lot of confidence, or hey, look, that guy probably shit his pants. See, walk says something about you. Now you can define yourself based on your walk in the game. So change it up. You can respawn if you get stuck. Being stuck sucks. I once got stuck between the couch cushions, and it was the scariest 4 days of my life. Okay? Now, being stuck in a video game can be frustrating as well, because sometimes you need to restart the video game or whatever it is, or sometimes you need to get killed to get removed or whatever. So it can be really frustrating to find yourself in that particular situation. Well, Red Dead Redemption was able to ameliorate this by having a respawn feature. What that means is you don't have to die and you don't have to restart your game or whatever it is. You can just click to respawn if you find yourself getting stuck in one of those glitches or getting stuck in something where you can't get out. This is great, especially if you find yourself in a hole somewhere and there's a guy standing over you saying, "It puts the lotion in the basket or else it gets the hose again." You just click that respawn button and get yourself the fuck out of that guy's well, right? He's not going to be wearing your skin, is he? Treasure maps are these great little things that you can find around the map, or you'll get for just like leveling up or whatever. I think every 5 levels you'll get a new treasure map, and sometimes people just let these things stack up. But gold in Red Dead Redemption is one of these things that is hard to come by. It's actually really rare. Treasure maps, more often than not, will give you an abundance of gold. Sometimes they'll give you up to 1 gold bar or half a gold bar for every single treasure map that you go find. The fastest way to get gold, if you have them, can be treasure maps. So they're definitely worthwhile to check out. You can rename your horse. I mean, let's face it, people make mistakes. That's why they put erasers on pencils, and that's why they have abortion clinics. I mean, showing up to an abortion clinic with a 4-year-old toddler? Generally frowned upon, though. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. The point is that you can actually change the name of your horse in the game. If your original name is something that you absolutely hate it, like you named your horse Gregory for whatever reason, you're like, fuck is that name? You know what I mean? Fucking Gregory? Like, what is that? Get over here, Gregory? Like, your horse is just gonna sit there looking at you like, what the fuck, man? But fact of the matter is, if you name it something fucking weird like Gregory, you'll be able to go back and change it later. You just go into the option menu when you're in the stable, and you'll be able to switch it over. Boom, there you go. Now you can change the horse's name. Not a lot of people know that for some reason. You know, there's a lot of people out there with Gregory horses, and they're like, fucking hate this horse. I hate the horse, I hate its face, I hate its name, I hate everything about it. Not that there's anything wrong with Gregory for a human name. It's not the first name I'd go to, but what I'm saying is, Gregory is a shitty name for a horse. At the end of the day, that's what I'm driving at here, people. Don't name your fucking horse Gregory. You can store up to 7 outfits on your horse with the right saddlebags. Let's face it, bigger bags, they just store more stuff. Tiny little pint-sized bags, they don't hold shit, right? Compared to gigantic, bordering on animal abuse, big bags. You know, I want the bag to be so heavy that the hind legs of the horse is just it's weighing it down. They're like half the size of the front legs. Just obnoxiously heavy. That's what I want on my horse. And that's what you'll get here in Red Dead Redemption, because you can basically store your entire wardrobe on your fucking horse. It's insane. Does it matter that the horse probably can't carry all that shit everywhere it goes? Does it matter that it's gasping and wheezing for air? No, it doesn't. What matters is that I look good wherever the fuck I go in Red Dead Redemption, right? If I'm in Saint Denis, I'm gonna need something a little fancy, right? If I'm off in the wilderness killing squirrels and shit, I'm not gonna be running around in a tuxedo, am I? No, I'm gonna need an outfit for that particular occasion as well. Well, the good news is that I'll be able to store all those outfits on my horse as long as I got heavy enough saddlebags, right? There's several different saddlebags in the game, each of which have a different number of outfits that you can store on your horse. The biggest saddlebags that they have right now is up to 7 outfits. You can also store up to 5 hats on your horse. Yeah. Where's your horse keeping all these hats, you might be wondering? Because last time I checked, horses don't have any pockets. My guess is it's shoving them up its ass. But I'm just spitballing here. It is really unique that you can store up to 5 hats on your horse as well. So pick your 5 favorite hats, put them on your horse. One could be right on your horse's head. You know what I mean? He can wear it, you know, pretend like he's human for a little bit. It'd be a gas, wouldn't it? You're not human, you idiot. You know what I mean? Now, you can have 10 saved outfits in your wardrobe at any given time. So you can mix and match stuff that you like, and you can save those outfits in the saved outfit section. So you can just go there and change them over, and you can actually take those outfits and put them on your horse, up to 7 outfits on your horse at any given time. So you can sort of change your outfits on the fly for whatever it is you're doing. You can have like a hunting outfit, and then you can also have like a missions outfit. You can have outfits for whatever it is you need. You can have outfits for just sticking your dick in puddles. It doesn't matter, really. At the end of the day, they're your outfits. Mix and match. You can feel like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. I don't kiss on the mouth. You'll suck my balls, but you won't kiss me on the mouth? What's that all about? There's 2 types of posses in Red Dead Redemption. There's a permanent posse, and then there's a temporary posse. Temporary posses don't let you have as many members in your posse at any given time, whereas a permanent posse is something that you pay for, but it will allow you to have more members in your posse at any given time. The only way that this isn't good is if you have no friends. If you have no friends, then go for the temporary posse and don't embarrass yourself. Like who are you gonna invite? Random fucking strangers? Like, what's that all about? If, like, you're sitting there in, like, a dark room in front of a telephone and that phone never rings, you're just gonna want to go with the temporary posse. Okay? Like, if you smell weird or you're, like, really awkward with people, maybe you touch them when you shouldn't, you know? Go with the temporary posse. But if you want a bigger posse, go with the permanent posse. That's what I'm saying. Flying the white flag in your camp makes you invincible. This is a great little feature, especially if you want to escape griefers and you want to go back and like make potions or make food or whatever it is. Or if you just want to sit there and jerk off into CRIPPS' beard. Whatever it is you want to do, you'll be able to do it without having to worry that someone's going to run up behind you, hog tie you, and then dip their taint on your forehead. Yeah. That's happened to me more than a few times. It's getting suspicious. Either way, if you're in your camp and the white flag is flying, then you'll technically be invincible, meaning you're in a type of passive mode. You won't be able to hurt other people and they won't be able to hurt you, but you'll be able to interact with anything inside of your camp. It's a great little feature that allows you to get things done outside of the PvP element in Red Dead Redemption. You can set specialty horses. Let's face it, certain horses are better at certain things. Like strong horses are better at jumping and racing, and female horses are better at cooking and cleaning. I'm just kidding, folks. I don't want anyone to, like, come at me in a Walmart parking lot saying shit like, so you think female horses are only good for cleaning, do you? And then get trampled by a fucking horse. I don't need that shit, okay? I was kidding. Either way, you can set specialty horses in the game, meaning you can have a horse that you use to race, you can have another horse that you use in free roam, you can set each horse to a specific specialty in the options menu. It's a great little feature that allows you to use your best horse for the best situation. You can do spin tricks with your revolvers in Red Dead Redemption Online. This one will require you to do the bounty hunter role, though, in order to unlock all the different spins and all the different moves that you can do. But you can spin your revolvers in some really cool and fascinating ways in Red Dead Redemption. And let's just face it, the fact of the matter is that spinning your guns makes you better than regular folks. Okay? Now, the gun spinning animation is really cool in Red Dead Redemption. All you have to do is double-click the holstering button, and you'll do a gun spin. Now, if you haven't done the bounty hunter missions, you'll just do one quick spin and put it away. But if you have done the bounty hunter role, you'll have the option to keep the gun spinning for an assortment of time. and do different spin tricks while you're doing it. But if you have completed the bounty hunter role in its entirety, you'll be able to spin your revolvers forever, as well as spin both revolvers at the same time. Yeah, and let's face it, that's what really gets the women wet in Red Dead Redemption. Like, you know, spinning both revolvers at the same time. Like, women just see that and they're like, oh, goodness. Ah, that gets my knickers in a bunch, or whatever the fuck people said in the 1800s. And then they just come over and spread their butt cheeks. And they're just like, fuck me hard, you revolver spinning psycho. You know what I mean? Or whatever, you know? And none of that has ever happened to me. Resting at camps actually replenishes your cores. Now, you can recharge the old batteries. Wait, batteries didn't exist in the 1800s. You can recharge your old gas lamp, them good old super safe gas lamps, at any camp. You can just go to a camp, and if you sit around a fireplace, your cores will get replenished. You can also eat stews and stuff like that, but just sitting at a fire will replenish your cores. So the point I'm trying to drive at here is that if you're close to a camp, especially if it's your camp, and you don't want to waste food or anything like that, then just go to the camp and sit by the fire for a little bit, and it will replenish all your cores. It's easy peasy, penis squeezy. Horse Reviver is worth it. And it's actually cheaper if you don't have any insurance. It's not like I don't like horse insurance, it's that I don't like horse insurance salesmen. You know, they're always trying to pile on all these extra policies and stuff. It's like, I don't need that, man. Why do I need this stuff for my horse? Okay, I care about my horse, sure. All right, and if my horse dies, I'm going to be, like, a little bit upset. I'm going to be like, oh my god, what happened to fucking Gregory, you know? Oh shit, he's dead? Oh my god, that's crazy. He got hit by a train? Oh shit, I probably shouldn't have left him on the train tracks. God damn. I feel so bad that Gregory was obliterated into millions of pieces. Well, you can just give it a little Horse Reviver and it will be back on its feet in no time. And it's super cheap, so Horse Reviver is worth it. So carry some Horse Revivers on you at any given time, so you don't have to pay to constantly replace your horse. You actually have a handheld catalog where you can buy ammunition, clothing, hats, whatever it is you want, and you can bring it up at any given time. When you buy something in this handheld catalog, it will be delivered to your mailbox. So you can get that stuff at any one of the post offices around the map, or you can get it at your camp. This can be great, especially if you want to buy an abundance of ammunition, like more so than you would get in like a shop or whatever it is. Also, if you want to buy something quick on the fly, but you don't want to go to a store, this handheld catalog can be a real convenience. Let's face it, the internet didn't exist in the 1800s. This is the closest we're going to get. And it's pretty good. I mean, ability cards are like tools in Red Dead Redemption, and we all know that tools are important. Tools make us better at things. Don't believe me? Try to build a house with nothing but a glue stick and a Swiffer wet jet. You're going to be there all day, and nothing's going to get done. The 4 ability cards that I think are the most essential when interacting in PvP are Slow and Steady, Eye for an Eye, Fool Me Once, and Never Without One. Slow and Steady makes it so you take much less damage, and headshots will not kill you outright as long as you're in Deadeye. Eye for an Eye means when you kill an enemy with a headshot, you'll actually restore some Deadeye. Fool Me Once is an ability card that makes it so you take less damage for each consecutive shot that you're hit with while you're in Deadeye. And Never Without One is an ability card that will make it so your hat will block one headshot, meaning that you won't get killed outright if someone shoots you in the head. These are my 4 favorite ability cards, especially when I'm doing PvP and stuff like that in Red Dead Redemption, because I feel like it makes your character really tanky. It means you can take on more people, you can get in more gunfights without actually getting killed. This ability card setup is more for you to take more damage while you're in a fight. But again, I don't try to get in a lot of PvP altercations, so I'm more of a defensive player. So these 4 ability cards make a lot of sense to me. It makes it so if someone's trying to grief me or something like that, I can fight back and then leave without worrying about that I'm going to get griefed. You can actually tweak the HUD in Red Dead Online. Now, cosmetics are important. It's why I never leave the house without glittering my balls. But in the same token, sometimes people want to go for a more immersive playthrough, in which case you can actually remove some of the heads-up display in Red Dead Redemption, including the mini-map, the compass, whatever it is. You can actually take it out of there. Also, you can make those things bigger if you find that you need a little extra help or whatever it is in the game. This gives you the ability to sort of mold your heads-up display to whatever type of playstyle you want to have while you're doing Red Dead Online. I find this great for recording videos because when I'm recording videos, I might not want the heads-up display But when I'm actually playing or I'm in a PvP situation, I might actually want to know where people are on a minimap, or I might want to know where I'm fucking going when I'm like gallivanting through Red Dead Redemption. I don't have the whole place memorized. So it can be good to have the minimap or whatever it is up on your screen in certain situations and then not in others. You can actually duck on your horse to avoid aim lock. As long as you're high enough in the bounty hunter role, it gives you a new ability which allows you to duck on your horse while you're riding it, which will actually break the aim lock the same way that if you're in a gunfight on foot and you dive will. This is a great little perk that will allow you to be more effective in gunfights while you're on horseback. Especially in PvP situations where people are locking onto you, you can break that aim lock and counter. Now just because you're on horseback doesn't mean you can't be limber like an overqualified yoga Pilates instructor, or at least that's what I keep telling myself. So when you're on horseback and you're high enough in the bounty hunter role, you're not going to be at a disadvantage to people who are on the ground or to people who are also on horseback. Now, if you want to do this on Xbox, all you have to do is aim in and double tap A while you're aimed in, and your character will duck to either side of your horse. If you want to do it on PlayStation, it's the same thing, except you're going to do it with X, I believe, is the button. It's one of the fucking buttons. You double tap X or A or whatever. And on computer, I have no idea. It's probably Control, Alt, Uppercut or whatever. I don't know. I don't do this. I don't play this game on PC. So good luck with that. You can actually climb around certain carriages in the game. I don't know how helpful this is as much as it is interesting to me. It's actually really cool. It's a cool mechanic in the game. It's not something that most people would know about. It's just an interesting sort of feature. So on certain carriages that look like this one in particular, you can actually climb along the side and up into the driver's seat and then off on the side and then up into the passenger seat. I feel like a monkey on a jungle gym when I'm doing it, and that gives me a boner for weird reasons that I've only really fully expressed in my diary. The fact of the matter is that climbing around carriages is just plain old fun. Is it effective and efficient? Is it gonna save you in like a die-hard situation? Probably not, right? Being able to climb around a carriage isn't gonna be the difference between life or death if that carriage is going off a fucking cliff, now is it? But it is gonna be fun to just bounce around on that carriage, to just climb up and down and all around it and just fucking totally molest the shit out of that carriage. Reinforced lassos keep people tied up for longer, but not forever. Now this was disappointing for me the first time I found out. I thought for sure that the reinforced lasso would keep people tied up forever. Here I was cutting letters out of a magazine when my dinner ticket ran out of my fucking basement. I was like, come on, man. You know? It's gonna be really difficult to convince that person to get back in my van now. That's what I was thinking. The original lasso doesn't feel like it keeps people tied up for very long at all. Where the reinforced lasso, I don't know the exact timing on it. It definitely keeps people tied up for at least 3 or 4 times as long as the original lasso. So it's not gonna keep them tied up forever, but it will keep them tied up for a really long time. However, if you have someone tied up and you constantly keep kicking them or nudging them as they're trying to escape, it will keep them tied up forever. So every time they try to nudge their way loose or whatever, and it gives you the option to kick or punch or hurt them in any way, take that option and you can keep someone tied up in a lasso forever, including player characters. They will have to give up in order to get out of that situation or choose to respawn. So yeah. You can technically keep someone tied up forever. It's awesome. Either way, the reinforced lasso is a great addition. You'll have to be high enough in the bounty hunter role to get a reinforced lasso, but it is an excellent addition and it's definitely worthwhile. So bolas are one of the things that it's almost like a portable lasso. You can throw it at people and it ties them up for a moment of time. Now that moment of time isn't very long though. I think it's like 15 seconds. It could be more, it could be a little more, it could be a little less than that. If you hit someone with a bola, you can tie them up right away with a lasso. However, if you wait too long, they'll break out of the bola, and if they break out of the bola can't be reused. However, if you tie them up while they're still in the bola, you can reuse the bola. So unlike condoms, you can use bolas more than once. I mean, it is possible to use condoms more than once, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's going to be awkward at first and probably during, you know? No. Let me tell you from experience, it's better to just buy some new ones, all right? It'll save you a really awkward conversation. Bolas are expensive. Don't let people break out of them. Run up right behind them and just tie them right up. Hog tie the shit out of them. You can do all the rolls at once. Now, as long as you've got the money and the gold, you'll be able to purchase multiple rolls in Red Dead Redemption Online. At any given time, multiple rolls will be an option for you. However, a lot of people will buy one roll and they'll do it one at a time. Like they'll do the bounty hunter roll, or they'll do the collector roll, or they'll do the moonshiner roll, or whatever it is. Now, this can actually be counterintuitive. If you do multiple rolls at once, you can actually sort of multitask as you're doing them. For instance, the collector roll and bounty hunter roll, or the collector roll and moonshiner roll, they actually complement one another. More often than not, you have to search the entire world space to get the things that you need for the collector roll. Well, while you're traveling from one area to another to collect bounties or to sell moonshine or whatever it is, you can be out there looking for items for Madame Nazar. So it can allow you to do a twofer, if you will. And this way you can be leveling up one roll while you're working on another roll. Thanks again for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to bitch slap that subscribe button like it's 3 weeks behind on your rent. Bitch! Where's the money, bitch? Where's the money? Where is it? Also, go ahead and hit that bell icon too, because apparently YouTube thought there should be extra steps. Why not, right?
I'd like to subscribe, but first I have to click this and do this. Oh, it needs an email. All right, and this. Okay, fuck. Just tell me when he's uploading. Fuck!
Once you do all that, if you're lucky, at the stroke of midnight, a tiny little Averagebaters fairy might come and tickle your butthole. I hope to see you all again next time, and remember to keep on average baiting, baby.